For those of you coming on live, thank you so much. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a quick tutorial. We're going to go to the market analysis here soon. I'm just going to share a quick tutorial. A lot of the members have been progressing in their use of wallets. And so I'm going to cover a quick tutorial. Last week, I did a really long one, a 90-minute long tutorial on how to pay a bill in Canada with cryptos. And it went really, really well, but there was a tool that I used in that tutorial. There was a tool called Change Now, and I used that as a drone, so to speak, to draw my equity out of the kingdom and bringing it into the realm where there was I don't know where it went, but there was an internet bill. There it is. The internet bill had to be paid, and so I had to draw from my kingdom where my wealth is and pay that. And the analogy that I like to use is, well, I'm just going to go to, Tim Hortons, and so I don't go to Tim Hortons, but I go to Tim Hortons, I'm going to use the Tim Hortons card because that's where I went. And it just makes sense to use their little digital currency because I'm there and I get points back and rewards and things like that. And so that's why we use things like the Canadian dollar. I don't because there are other options out there. And when I need some Canadian dollars, I just do a transfer like I would for my online banking to load up that Tim Hortons card. So one of the tools, hey Ian, I'll add you to the room here. One of the tools that we talked about was Change Now on Wednesday, and I forgot one of the most important things, Change Now, that I like so much. And so I'm going to just share a quick tutorial on what that is. This is where did my Change Now go? There it is. So that Change Now address that I had, where it said, hey, send your ADA to this wallet and we'll do the exchange, turn it into Ethereum. That process, oh, that's what I was going to do. Let's go pick up. Does GIMP work here for now? Yeah. There we go. This will be more helpful. Oh, there we go. So this is the drawing that I did there, and this here, this is Change Now. So Change Now has a wallet address that they gave me to put onto the drone here. That address is now smart contracted. Even though I just did the one transaction, that address is now a dedicated address that Change Now will hold. So I can use this drone over and 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 over again with the same wallet address. And I don't have to put in a number anymore. I don't have to go and say, $20 or $50 or whatever else. I can just say, I want to send 1,000 next time. I don't have to go and put the number in. I can use the same wallet address. And to do that is in Eternal. So bring that up now. And Brave. So inside Eternal, up in the top left, or top right rather, there's the settings menu. If you go into, I think it's wallet settings. Oh, where was that? Ooh, app settings, maybe. Address book, there it is. So under app settings, you scroll down a bit, but there's address book. Inside there, you can add. And so what I did was that I identified this wallet address. I just identified it with a name that's only saved in my browser. If I lose my keys, I lose that name. The address, I don't know if the address even saves. So it's like it's important to back up. If you got lots of important information, like an address book in here, you keep exporting it. There's the button to export it. Just save as as a local file on your computer. That way, if you ever lose access, You just click import. You restore your Eternal wallet, click import, and your address book will just load up. So now, as I was saying, now when I go to change now, in order to send ADA from this wallet, have it go to change now and have it switch over to Ethereum and deposit into my ShakePay, there's one specific contract address to get the job done in perpetuity. Any questions about that? Nothing? Cool. Let's do this.
You're doing,
uh,
you are doing just ADA from to Eternal, right?
that's correct. Well, ADA, yeah, ADA from my Eternal wallet, using my Eternal wallet, ADA to that drone.
To change now. Okay,
Yep. And I
very
can
good.
use the same drone, same address on the same drone every time, but it has to be that combination. It is a one path. There's not other ways that it could go. It has to be that address that's sending it, and it has to be my receiving address that's receiving it in order for that to occur. So it's like, I hope that makes sense. You can't do that and be like, "Oh, I'll just send it there and then it'll go to my ShakePay in Bitcoin." No, no, no. It's specifically from that wallet address with ADA across.
So doesn't that create a bit of a trail? That's not a zero knowledge proof scenario.
Um, I see. Yeah, you're right. It's less of a zero knowledge proof protocol for sure.
Okay,
I'm not too worried about it though because again, I'm just using a drone. I'm using a drone from a completely other identifier that they don't have a clue what that is or what's behind that. Mostly because now I'm just using the education account because I've got, how many other properties going on. They all have their own addresses. They got their own treasuries. I'm not mingling assets, right? So they have no idea what that is. It's just my education account. But yes, it is. I'm looking forward to midnight being in full development because then we don't have to worry about any of that anymore because now it's just a contract address that obscures everything. That's when we can start focusing on the self-sovereign identifiers because that's the next level of security, less layer of privacy to implement. But we got to implement it. Pick up some nodes. If you're a techie person, you like to work with Linux. You want to become. I think that there are going to be three types of people in the world. I really do. There's going to be people that build all the big corporations, and then there's going to be people that work for those corporations. And the third type is going to be like stake pool operators or node runners. Those are that's it. There's going to be three different types of people, and we have a responsibility to do that ourselves. Where was I going with that?
now is everything going to be categorized that way? Given that I presume that at some point in the future, most corporations are going to be registering their assets as in the form of RWAs.
Yep, and RWAs are not to be miscategorized, or rather, the type of asset that needs to be remembered to be categorized as a real world asset is your phone bill.
Say that again.
Your phone bill is a real world asset to those corporations. That's why they're getting all these ETFs. They're wanting to get as much of the control over those currencies as possible because the real world asset of your phone bill is being tokenized. That's why real world assets is it's going to be the big boom, like the big huge kaboom.
I guess maybe it's real world assets because it's a bill of exchange.
Correct. It's a subscription. People literally that is a, and it's even under contract. Many times people get these phones and they're under contract for 2 years. That's why I haven't been doing any of that since well before 2020. 20 When was the last time I got a phone contract? 2014, I think 2015.
Interesting.
Because yeah, we just, it's wild. It's wild how much of an asset that is to them. That's a contract. That's an asset, a real world asset. Right? Why? Because you're a real being paying that bill, giving them that money. So that's a real world asset. Tokenize everything. Oh, that's where I was going with this. If we tokenize everything as people, right? We're tokenizing our data. Now we have governance over the transmission of that data. So you can bring a community of people that value these same things. Find yourself a node runner amongst you and create a node for Altea, Althea. And now you've got your own mobile communications network that rivals 5G technology for speed without having to, you can run Netflix on that tech. It's open source. You can run Netflix on that infrastructure. Now a community's got their own self-governing mobile communications infrastructure. But we got to teach people that principle of the privacy of data.
So you're saying that if we tokenize everything, then we have governance.
Yeah, totally. Because it's that you're just tokenizing equity is what you're doing. The token itself isn't the valuable thing. It's the
Right.
equity behind it. This goes back to the Internet of Things. The Internet of Things is this concept. That's why a whole new protocol for IP addresses came out like a decade ago. Maybe even more than that. I don't even know when that came out. But it was a long time ago, and the reason they did it was because the Internet of Things was going to take over, and there simply weren't enough IP addresses with the ones and the zeros and the nines and the, like, all the 10 digits that we were using, 0 through 9. That that's there's only so many things that you can give an address with those numbers, and so we were going to run out eventually. Now we're really going to run out because these LLM sessions are going to become their own IP addresses that you can connect to and just communicate, like text it if you want. So yeah, it's wild the amount of consciousness shift that people have to have in order to recognize everything that they create for data is equity. It is a record of equity, as good as, no different than the bill of exchange. It's just written down there that happened.
So is um, the subject of Mark Danielski, the economy of well-being. He's talking about equity,
Yeah, yeah,
individual
that's,
equity.
yep, absolutely. I
Except
look
that he
forward
doesn't.
to I look
Except that
forward
he
to that
doesn't like
message.
blockchain.
Right. And yeah, and I get why. I look forward to the next 3 to 6 months because in the next 3 to 6 months we'll have a proof of concept for the nature's market. Why? Because they're tokenizing their equity.
Okay.
So we can have proof of concept now, and we can say, hey, and by the way, anybody can do this. This isn't about one governing body figuring out how to do this. This is a multinodal, polycentric world we're headed into. And the equity that we have is just as polycentric and multinodal because it comes from each individual's life force energy.
Okay.
Beautiful. What a beautiful world. Why do I struggle still with so much impatience? All
So
right.
I guess we ourselves are probably the most significant representation of decentralization, or of
Yes.
what's the other word? There's the other word. Um,
Node.
no, distributed.
Ah, yeah. Yes. Yes. And given the veil that still is before humanity's eyes, uh, we have to really be open and willing to shed our idea of who we are. Because when you think about the interface that you are for God, the light of the world that you are, you start shedding all the identities like, you know, dad, citizen. It's like, yes, you
Yeah.
fathered those children, yes, and that's wonderful, but that's not your identity. You are a divine spark with a 1 foot nailed down to the ground for a period of time.
Yep. Yeah. Very much so. Okay.
All right. Yesterday we introduced this concept. Today we're going to chat about it some more. We're going to go back in time here. This chart is showing May, April 2015. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Index, the US 30, one of the main anchors for the US economy. This high was $18,000. It was worth 14.9 ounces of gold. May 2015. Markets dropped. I didn't get the recording off of this one. I should go get it. Markets dropped 16%. And then they recovered. This is going into March 2016. Bounced off of that old support November 16, and we never saw that price again. Price went up. This was here, bumping up against highs starting at January 20th, going on, bumping up against those highs, never really getting, like, it had a good run here right before COVID. But that's technically not it's technically not a trend-setting thing because the next low went below that, all of that, just went clear right through it all. So that's a triple top. That third time, that whole time, took 554 days. Gold was button up against that price. 554 days. Then we finally did it. October 2019. We broke above that. Broke above that all-time high. Broke above it. And then here, December 2019, bounced off of that support. And we were off, and everybody was so happy. And then, of course, we got word in January, is when I first started seeing the footage from China of empty shipyards because of the COVID. And the fear set in. But at that point, let's take a look at that. That 2018 high, it was 19.75 ounces of gold. A lot more than it was before, 1491. But what happened here? At this high, it was 1867. So the markets, although they were going up, they actually went down because the dollar's just fraud. The gold is where your money's at right now because the chips tech, uh, insulation for glass, uh, energy, very, very energy powerful, very gets you lots of energy. Silver, all that stuff. This here is worth a lot more than anything the numbers say is the US economy worth. Then it dropped. Of course, prices dropped and it became 12 ounces. 12 ounces of gold to buy 1 unit of the CFD. Then COVID recovery, all through that. We broke above it without much resistance. That all time high didn't even provide much resistance. It sat there for 30 days and then it took off. And it went up to highs in January 2022, the worst time because Biden was in charge for 2 years. It's the worst. But the markets were great. And it was only 19. So, basically 20 ounces of gold. 20 ounces of gold. That was the high of January 2022. We didn't get above that for a long time. 714 days for us to recover from that. To recover to that all-time high. When it went down, the markets went down, got a lot cheaper in ounces of gold again. Then we rose up. There it was, December 2024, 16.29 ounces. Wait a second, what? Yeah, from A to B. We've been looking at this for a long time. The regulars are going to know what I'm talking about here. Look at this, 57% rise from A to B in the markets. 57.24%. Keep that in mind. Look at how much it went in gold. Oh, wait, it went down. Remember I told you back in when I was doing this market analysis with a team of people. There's like 20, 30 of us through 2018, 19, going into 2020. Ian, this is when I had that height of building that algorithm in this area here. I've been saying since then, none of the Dow Jones is real anymore. Nothing of it's real because it's all based off of the dollar, which is just being inflated to smithereens, deliberately collapsed. It went down. The markets went down that whole time. From the 2018 high to the high of February 2020, gold went down. It did it again. Sure, here it went up a little bit. There's your 20. But that's because, again, this is all fraud. All of this is fraud. Comes down 1723. Cheaper at this A than it was at that when it was challenging those highs. It was 1867 at this time in 2020. When it came back and retested that level in the American economy, it was cheaper. The markets have been going down this whole time. 1629 to C 1236. Going back up all the way right now, we're at 1098. You think the markets are volatile? Look at gold. The markets show increase over the last 284 days, increase of 34%. Wait, gold is down. It's down against gold 20%. Amplify that. What's 34% in the wrong direction from negative 20? I don't even know. Was that 54%? 54%. So the markets are lying 50 by a factor of 54% of their true value. Why? Because look at gold. It just the price is going up and it gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper to buy it. Wow. Thoughts on that? That is huge. The markets have been going down this whole time. It was 18 here. Look at this. Okay, so here, let's go 20. There's 20. It was 20 ounces of gold in 2021. Now it's just over 10. Now it's only 11 ounces of gold and no sign of it stopping. Thoughts? I'm going to go over to the Bitcoin. I'm going to go to Bitcoin dominance. No, you know what? Let's keep on going with these markets. Silver up. Questions, comments, though. I'll just bring up the chart.
No, I think that last chart that you had up there was very intriguing. I think it for the for the people who want to know how the market is working, what's happening, what's really happening in the market, this is a very good thing to see and to know. Really no other way to put it. So
Yeah, I didn't know how else to put it either. You know, with it's I'm so grateful that the market analysis has been happening as long as it has now, because I can go back and be like, "Yep, I said this was going to happen and there we go." The markets are only going down right now.
so they're
And
just going to start continue printing more money,
yep.
and I don't know,
Why
it's
do
just
you
going to
think?
get less valuable.
Yeah, and this is why back in 2015, 16 is when nations, here we go, 15, 16. Yeah, there we go. In this area here, nations were starting to repatriatize their gold because they saw it coming too. And that's why another reason why I think this is another supportive argument for or sorry, it's rather supportive evidence towards my argument that we're going to see energy contracts renegotiated to precious metals, and that'll just send everything in for a tailspin, because who's gonna be the one to call that? Well, I can tell you right now, it's going to be whoever wins the war, because that's how that works. Do you really want US to win this war? I know that's a harrowing thought, but come on, let's be real here. Do you really want this fraud to be still a part of
Right?
the reality of your governance? No, I think we can do better. I think honestly we could screw up with the dumbest, most ridiculous, brain dead mistakes, and we would still be better off. I think we've got a lot better options out there.
What's going on with Monero?
I know, right? Yeah. You know what? Let's pull that. Yeah. Let's pull that up. Sure. Enough about the markets. We talked about that enough. I don't even have that one in my. Yeah, let's talk about Monero. Whoa, hey, that's a nice big jump here over the last little while. Yeah, it's you know what? There's a great these are a cult too. They are really anxious about bringing their version of privacy to the world. Everybody is, and I applaud them for it. This is the weekly chart.
Man, that's
Very
crazy.
indicative. Very indicative. What I find really interesting is that they actually lagged a little bit in alt season. No, wait, I shouldn't say that. No, look at that. They led last time too. Last alt season didn't peak until November. This is May of 2021. So, yep. This could very well be the indicator, folks. Nice.
Hmm. So you're saying in the previous in 2021 that this spiked in May, but the alt season never spiked until November.
Let's go check it out. Ethereum. Oh, that's Ethereum Gold. Here's the peak of alt season, November
November.
2021. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Very interesting. That's good. That's good to know.
Okay.
Bitcoin dominance. Oh, no. That's. Oh, I keep on losing. Where's dominance? Oh, no.
It's
This is
funny.
it.
My trading view does not go back further than March of 2021
Oh,
on
really?
Monero. On Monero,
Oh.
yours went back.
Which broker feed are you on?
Okay.
Because that will. It might be that the
KuCoin.
exchange, or sorry, KuCoin?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I would have expected it to be there before that. Maybe that's the earliest KuCoin listed it. I was pulling from Kraken.
Yeah. Mine for Kraken, mine doesn't go before 2022 October.
Oh wait, which maybe it wasn't Kraken. Yeah,
Okay. Very good. I won't
yeah.
distract any further.
I've
Yeah.
got
Yours goes back
Kraken.
to 15.
Yeah, 2014 here.
Monero US dollar, though. I've got Tether.
Oh, that's weird. I would have thought. Let's see if USDT shows up here. Shows up under KuCoin. But then, yeah, see, it only goes to 2021. That might
Yep.
be just because that might be how when the exchanges started tethering
Sure.
their
Yep.
assets, right?
Good point.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's go check out. Hey, Maureen, I see you there now, bringing you in. There's Bitcoin against gold. This is another thing supporting what I've been talking about, how we're transferring into digital commodities. That, in fact, data is the number one traded commodity. When you take into consideration how much gold and silver they're going to need in order for them to fulfill their goal of rug pulling the people, in order for them to do that, gold and Bitcoin are going to end up being that bridge for them because people are gravitating towards Bitcoin as kind of that gold standard for cryptos. And then there's the metal itself required to make the machines that mine the Bitcoin. You know, have you ever played that game Minecraft where you craft things to mine with and mine things to craft with?
Nope.
That's basically what we're seeing happen here. We're seeing that transference. We're watching people in real time transfer their wealth from real world assets like gold and putting them into digital assets. Whether it's right or wrong, I have no idea. All I know is that finally, after since 2008, being largely ridiculed for saying this, we're here. It's a transference. Gold now takes only 20 ounces to get 1 Bitcoin. Here is a drop of 43%. It is 43% cheaper to buy Bitcoin with gold now than it was 182 days ago. 6 months.
Hmm.
I love mixing up charts. Whenever I can, I do it. I should invest in TradingView Pro because then you can actually build charts. Hey, Audrey.
Hey.
Bitcoin against the US dollar. We can see that strong ABCD formation. D all-time high right now, sitting at 126,276. We are retraced down to 93,000 at the moment. Last low, $80,559. The recovery from where we are right now, we just recovered to all-time highs, is a 34% increase. Yes, I would be buying Bitcoin. If you have Canadian dollars or US dollars and it's in an exchange, I would just go get some Bitcoin. Put some of that into Bitcoin because your recovery is going to give you 34% back to the all-time highs. And we know that's going to happen. If we take a look at the trend right now, let's go to this is the weekly chart. I'm going to grab this. Oops. There's the mode that we're in right now. We are now below that, yes, but we have not broken market structure. We simply broke through a support line. And this C area, this whole area here, is what you would call, this is what you call doubling down zone.
How do you mean by that?
Well, if it got down to here, I would have been just like shouting from the rooftops, telling everybody, go get my Bitcoin, while everyone else was depressed.
Okay.
Kind of like, did you ever see that? There's an episode in Rick and Morty where Rick is he comes running into the living room. Everybody's watching TV. He comes in. He's like, "Folks, guys, you gotta get all your money, break all of the piggy banks, and we're gonna go and get this. Look, you can get these old Nintendos for $64, and you can sell them online for $400. Everybody, go get some right now." That's what I would do if Bitcoin came down and actually touched C. I don't think it's going to do that. And the reason I think that is because since this time, right here, this is November 2022, the dark night of the soul, we've not had a lower low.
Yep.
All of those lows just keep getting higher and higher and higher and higher. Then,
well, what was the previous low before the dark night of the soul?
Previous low before that, and well, the last time it was that low was November 2020. Yep. It almost touched the high from June of 2019 when it came down in November 2022. Everybody was depressed here, and everybody was freaking out here thinking that alt season was in. This was 2019, before COVID. People, I remember this was just crazy. People were insane thinking that they had just won the lottery. And then they got depressed at the same price right here. And they were still selling. They were selling, and they didn't start buying until here when it started getting exciting again. Like they just lose money year after year after year. And you can just go in and you can literally take their money from them when they're excited. And then when they get all scared and they think to themselves, "Oh no, this is the worst thing ever. I need to go get some groceries." You can just buy their positions and wait for them to come back and buy from you again. It's the greatest thing. Like you can just keep making money watching it happen, play out, play it out, play it out. I mean, way better in your pocket than going back and forth between the banks and all the, Walmarts that they spend their money on, Amazons and all that stuff. Better in your bank account than theirs, right? Because you can actually do something good with it. Like, sorry for making it sound so crass, but Like, come
Yes,
on, when are we going to get out of this mess?
some people would say that that system itself is unethical.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, they do. Okay. Ethereum against Bitcoin still consolidating this whole time. Midnight, we're going to go into the 2 hour chart because it's such a new chart. We are definitely experiencing a lot of resistance from this downward trend right now, sitting at 6.6 cents US. Keep buying. Remember, I sold up here. I sold up here. And now it's coming up against this now twice. So this is a double bottom at the moment. Now would be a really good time to switch over some more because we sold up here. So I could take what I sold. I didn't sell it all. What was like a, I did it on, I think I did it on market analysis. I sold like 20% or something like that, 30%. I could put it right back in here because look at this used to be resistance, pretty significant resistance right there. So if I'm there right now, yeah, it'd be a good time. Can buy it. I'm kind of hesitant because it's kind of close to this. I would want to see this get tested before I feel like we're actually moving up, right? I kind of feel like I'd like to see it get above this green before I commit. That's a little bit more conservative. It's less aggressive. Of course, you know, because I'm saying things like here's where you could buy things, here's where you could sell things. Technically, I can be charged. So I have to put a disclaimer saying do your own research and just dollar cost average because that's what the wealthy people do. Cardano showing life. I'm laughing because it's just it's just funny. This low here, 32 cents. We're still within market structure. Yes, it's getting cutting it pretty thin there, guys. But this is encouraging. Why? Remember I was talking about Wyckoff theory. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we see a little bit more detail. What happened here? We had, you know what, that's a little bit too much detail. There we go. Yes, this is wonderful. Wyckoff. His idea, I'm going to go through this real briefly. His idea is that you're going to have a place of resistance and a place of support. And let's go and change the color of these so that we can see it better. Okay, so there's the top side of this. You can see major consolidation occurs between these two lines here. And that's normal. That's normal. It goes back and forth. His idea is that you're going to have consolidation like this, and then you're going to have what's called accumulation. And the accumulation is an extension beyond the consolidation. Dips down. It's technically not creating a new low. Well, it is. It's a new low, but it's technically not continuing the trend. Why? Because the retracement blows past the previous resistance. And it just goes. So this here, this zone, this little tiny box could very well be the indicator. This little area could very well be all of the evidence we need that this is going to rise. Now we go back to percentages again. What's the percentage? What's the likelihood? It's technically 50-50 right now. But seeing this allows us to watch for the next indicator, which is what? Does anybody know? What's the next parameter that would need to be met? What price action would we need to see
A
to
new
get confirmation?
oh, confirmation. A new high, I thought. A, B,
New
C.
high.
A new high.
Yes. Great. Awesome. Maureen, you're so awesome at this. Absolutely. What we've done is that we've created an ABC situation. There's A. And this is fundamental to market structure. B. It's not proving a trend, but what we need is D. Wow. There's a wallet address. I thought I already copied. We need D to get up above this. You know what? I'm gonna bring this down.
Would it not be sufficient for it to hit S1?
Yeah, it would be nice to see. It would be encouraging. I think we'll probably see some resistance there simply because of
Yeah,
what it provided before, right? There was
correct.
some
Yeah.
there before. So I
So
think
if
that,
it blows past that, then that's where you want the delta to be.
yes, what I'm looking to do, what I'm looking to confirm is a higher high than this.
Uh,
That's my confirmation. Simply because this also provided a lot of market structure for a while. On again, this is on the 4-hour chart. So we're zoomed in a little bit. We need to get past this. Then I would say, yeah, let's get that ride going because that's where this was. So we get above that, we'll probably go and test R5. Simply because that's kind of that next major area.
You know, Paul, it's just really good to keep hearing all of this. And I know you say, I'll just go through it briefly, but then, when there's a discussion in it, it just starts becoming part of the, your, it's like I get the right brain version of it instead of the left brain, so that it's not necessarily that I've got everything organized and logical, but it's that intuitively I know I may know, don't get me wrong, I may be able to recognize it without me really knowing it in a left brain way. So I love hearing the repeated, what was the guy's name again? Weiberg? Why?
Wyckoff.
Wyckoff.
Yeah.
Wyckoff, why Jan? I don't know.
so what was what was the message that you were pointing out of his on this one? There's
That this A point is that accumulation. Because we didn't continue the trend. We formed a new low, but we did not continue the trend. And so he would identify this as the sign of reversal. We've been going down since, oh, that's depressing for some of us. I know a lot of the Dragon Riders, they came in at 90 cents. 90.
okay. So you're saying that the A. So his Wyckoff's maxim works whether it's going down, going to reverse, go back up, or whether
That,
it's at the top, going to go back down. Okay.
that's correct. Yeah, that Wyckoff, and it's I don't know if it's a maxim because it's technically a theory in that he noticed a pattern and believed that that was the that was the precursor. Okay, we saw that. That means we're likely not going to go past that for a long time. And the fact that that happened so close to C is encouraging because we're looking for that reversal. We've been going down. We've been going down since December 2024 when we almost thought that was alt season. Isn't that something? It went up because I'm guilty of it too. We went up 289% in 35 days on ADA. Those were exciting times.
What if we looked at patterns? I mean, and I know you kind of do this, Paul. We looked at patterns that are outside the, like ADA itself. We looked at, like where's the money going? Well, the money's going in this way. And, say in the US, we're having the stock market still incrementally go up. And so there's still, and then silver, what happened with silver? Uh, the whole thing of them trade. I don't know. Didn't you say that they were, or I've heard it somewhere that de they're not they're not honoring the certificates, the paper silver.
Yeah.
And Monday was like the day when
Yep.
the rule took, or whatever that is. And maybe you could explain that too. But just I'm just wondering, like, is it like where's the money going? Well, ADA's going down, and but it's going down in this whole sphere of silver being suppressed, the price of silver being now all of a sudden silver is not being suppressed anymore. The price. I'm just wondering what will happen to ADA with the silver,
Great question.
just in
Great
relationship
question.
to other things, because ADA is such a. I mean, it's such a good idea, or so promising.
Indeed. Okay, I'm going to share. It's a little bit of an answer. Yeah, I know you like it when I say I'll just cover this briefly and then I go into great detail. But this will be fairly short. We're reaching the top of the hour already. We have the ABCD here. This is the C here. This is very similar to what we were seeing in in gold. Just keeps on making new lows, higher lows all the time. Well, Bitcoin is correlative to gold, like we were talking about before. The equivalent in silver is Ethereum, simply because of the volume of trade that occurs with Ethereum. The market capitalization on Ethereum is, well, it's second overall. It's right underneath Bitcoin. ADA is number 10. ADA is not silver. However, it's within an ecosystem of merchants. And that system of merchants largely work with Ethereum. That's why the market capitalization is so darn high. So in the same way gold is being transferred into Bitcoin, that wealth acquisition is occurring through that bridge there. The other one is silver, and the saying is gold is the currency, or sorry, I should say gold is the money of kings. Silver is the money of merchants. Currency is the money of slaves. So Ethereum is becoming the digital silver. Bitcoin becoming the digital gold. And all they're doing is that and I say they, the powers that be that have the capacity to manipulate people into thinking that the fiat currency has value at all. They are simply transferring our money from one form of asset and even swaths of industries within commodities, classes of commodities that are going obsolete. They're having us put our money, our attention tokens, into their new system. That's what's going on at that macro level. So Ethereum and all of the coins that we've been chatting about, XRP is a part of that system. It's a part of that infrastructure for the merchants to trade, because that's what they're doing with these are just merchants. All these other coins are just merchants. and they all have different offerings, and people contract with them by giving them some of the tokens that allow them to have value, appreciate. Look at BitTensor. BitTensor now with definite signs of the descending wedge. It's just another version of silver. Why? Because they're transmitting data, which is the currency. So they're just another means of exchange. Another silver coin. Does that help? Does that help see the correlation? I hope I'm answering that with
Yeah.
language patterns that give you context.
Would it, because Ethereum, don't you, are you still, do you still have to go through, see, no, this is where I don't know. Do you still have to go through Ethereum to get to buy ADA? Or,
Not at all.
yeah, I
You'd
remember.
only need Ethereum if you wanted to go and buy like desync or fetch.
Oh,
Those layer 2 coins, those are the different merchants. They're all got their own little coin inside the Ethereum blockchain. The Ethereum blockchain is at layer 1.
so it's a blockchain. I'm
Yeah.
not getting, is that what it is? Then I see, like in Star Trek, when they, the, the, what are they called? Those ones that are half robot, half person.
Oh, Android, yeah.
Well, Borg, the Borg. I see
Oh,
Borg
Lord, yeah.
square. That's what I think of when I think of, you know. So I think of Ethereum like a blockchain, like in that kind of sense. So I'm wondering, would blockchain, would Ethereum be the thing to buy if you wanted to? I don't know, like you want to buy silver, or are you saying that that's what they want you to do, or that's the direction that it's going in?
Were you part of the conversation earlier when we were talking about uh, real world assets?
I have to run.
Okay, see ya, Ian.
Bye bye, all.
You may have to go, and that's fine. I bet yes, it's still getting this sense of layer one and layer two
Yeah, yeah.
coins.
Right. And were you there when we were chatting about the real world assets being like your phone bill?
No, but I remember that conversation. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So that the Ethereum is just a layer 1 of smart contracts. So it what Ethereum is a ledger for smart contracts.
And that's the blockchain.
That's right. And
Okay.
this is where we get proof of stake,
Right.
because you can start a contract without having to exchange money. You can exchange contract without there being a transaction. Before, back with Bitcoin, it was just proof of work.
Right.
That's how they brought consensus on chain, was just proof of work. Well, now we can have proof of stake. Well, the layer 2, what this is layer 2 coins say, okay, let's go with desync, for example. Desync is one of the coins we follow. They do decentralized storage
Right.
of data and self-sovereign as well. In fact, you can go and sign up for an account and you don't have to produce any credit card information. You don't have to give them any dollars. You don't have to put in an email address, anything. You can get an account and start storing your data simply by getting a wallet and sending some desync, or sorry, buying some desync and staking it. You don't have to spend it, just
Yeah.
stake it. And that allows you access to
Oh.
their services.
Ah. Okay.
So that's how the smart contract works with this token.
Okay.
So it's another smart contract using the same language as Ethereum because this is the language ERC20.
Mm,
Desync is using the same language, but they've got their own parameters.
okay.
The parameters of that contract are specific to their company. So when people are getting, like, say, for instance, the institutions significantly have been purchasing Ethereum at these nice big low prices. Well, while they are buying the Ethereum, Ethereum is that bridge into layer two, the individual merchants. So Ethereum now becomes like an exchange. And all you're doing is that you are engaging in smart contracts with this token that supports that language.
So is Bitcoin a particular language?
Yeah, that's a different one.
Yeah.
Yep, it's another layer one.
But they don't have any layer twos with their layer one.
No, there are a few. Um, for instance, there's uh, Zcash. Zcash is a fork off of Bitcoin.
Okay.
Yep. Um, and if I remember, yeah, there are some other ones too. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to
Yeah.
them, and the reason why is not because they're not good ideas, but proof of work. It's You're kind of limited.
I agree.
You're
I
very
will.
limited. It's good. It's
Yeah.
awesome. But this one here, I see this becoming the the currency of the drones because they're only going to be working for the kings. Again, if things continue the way they are, we're going to have these, the Zuckerbergs. We've got the Musks of the world, right? The oligarchs, or sorry, technocrats. The Gateses. All of these are the kings
Right.
because they're the kings of data.
Yeah.
And since we're going into a digital realm, you can bet your boots already. Like, it's so easy to see from every one of these people's platforms the programming that gets ushered forth. Even on X, where the people of the right wing, especially, they loved talking about how much Elon loves free speech. Yeah, well, my friend who has been exposed over the last 3-4 months, he's been hitting some very, very uh, important touchstone articles that indicate and show proof of the regime change that's occurring in Canada and the danger that we face as people of this nation. And I'm talking of the people, not the country. But that the people are facing a great danger right now because there is absolutely nothing that even closely resembles representation in our government. And unfortunately, in his expression of his concern, Elon Musk banned him from X just last week. So even Musk, who is lauded and magnified as the bastion of freedom in allowing, alternative media to share their version of journalistic ethics, Wayne Peters gets canceled. So the language patterns are already in place to program people into the mindset that this is who they serve now. Why? Because they literally pay them every single month something, whether it's money or attention, usually attention. Because what is Facebook? What is Facebook? It's just an attention platform. And when you pay attention to it, there are people who want to have your attention and they pay Facebook to get your attention. So you're paying attention and Facebook is making nothing but dollars the whole time. Musk, same idea. He's got X.com, which is really, it's the same thing as Twitter. He just kind of rebranded it a little bit, but it acts as the same thing. Remember how we were talking about how Twitter was so bad because of all the bots that they had and they were leftist bots? Well, it's the same system. So Elon uses it with right-wing bots, but it's just a different brand. It's the same engine. But the programming, like the language programming that's occurring there is clearly pushing towards a certain narrative. Because when there's something counter narrative, he just turns off your account, says, "I don't like you. I don't want your content on my platform," which he's allowed to do. It's just people think that this is what really happened. I get texts from people. Did you see this? Blah, 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 blah. And then they send me a link to a video. I don't even know if it's look at how unreal the accuracy of AI is. It's to the point where it's difficult to tell whether or not it's been generated by AI. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at being able to tell only because I've spent a lot of time in video editing studios. But it's starting to trick me and I've been fooled.
Yeah.
Well, people are sending me links of things that Trump did in Venezuela telling me that I'm wrong because look at what Fox News said, right? Oh, no, sorry, they didn't say that. They said, look at what Dan Bongino said on X. No, no, that's not real. That's not real. It's just those are just accounts of people who want your attention and they get paid when you give it to them. Gates,
Yeah.
processor of all that information with operating systems. He's an operating system genius. Okay? There's no question about it. Don't like him at all, but he is a genius at building an operating system specifically designed to have vulnerabilities so that in order for you to spend your time paying attention to the Musks and the Zucks, in order for you to continue paying that attention, you're going to need to get virus software. And then he went ahead and started doing it, and I'm on YouTube right now, so watch me get canceled. But then he went ahead and upgraded his operating system genius and used, was it Moderna? No. What was his? He had one. Nah, yeah, it was Moderna. He partnered up with Moderna because in the Moderna paperwork, when you go and read the actual manufacturers, what do they call that? The manufacturers something or the other. But their paperwork says that mRNA technology is an operating system.
Oh, right. Yes. I've heard that.
Yeah, it's an operating system because what it does is it programs it can alter the programming of your DNA.
Yeah. It's
Your
linked.
DNA your DNA is the software. Or your operating system. So all they've done is created a layer of an operating system over your physiology. This is why biotech is one of the biggest pillars of this digital revolution. It's because people went and literally got the biotech put into their bloodstreams. Like and so now the physical body becomes a hackable machine, just like Noah Harari said it would. It said he said now we found out. He said the KGB couldn't do this. nor could the Bolsheviks, with the KGB or the Nazis. That's what he said. The KGB couldn't do it, nor could the Nazis. But today we have the capacity to tell people what to do. They are hackable machines, he said. Yeah, because people literally went and got the operating system injected into their bloodstreams. So, anyways, where was I going with all this? Oh, yeah. These guys have got Bitcoin and like all the major coins. They've got them taken care of. They all have what do they have in common? Banks. It's the only thing they have in common. I mean, yeah, they've got their programs and stuff like that, but this is what they all share. Because now what are they doing? They are dealing, right? They are dealing. I should say, you know what? Let's say they have jurisdiction. I'll put it this way. Remember, Wayne just got like just imagine, taking your thumb and squishing an ant. It's not that Wayne was dependent on X, but in that jurisdiction, in that realm, Musk has jurisdiction over the, what is it? Trade route. What's being traded? What's being traded? Just data.
Data, opinion, point
Just
of view.
data.
Yeah. Reality.
Yep. So if that's the case, these guys are taking over the world because everybody thinks that we have to use them to transmit data. We need to use them as the trade route. If we don't use them, how are we going to have a trade? What trade route would we use? Yeah, that's the thing. Well, if this is the asset that they are using to have governance over our speech, over our language, then it would make sense to me that if they're going to go ahead and tokenize everything, maybe we should do that too. And so we should privatize our data. Am I making my point clearly?
Well, I was just thinking too of Quartal.
Yes.
And it's like just having the one church, and then the Gutenberg press coming out, that whole thing. And how does that, because that was what the revolution started with the internet. Anyway, yeah.
This has been absolutely wonderful. Oops.
Well, I'm glad it's on YouTube. Then I can look at it again and see it. Because your YouTube's come up on my feed, I think.
Good.
You're in my algorithm.
I'm
At
glad.
least you have been. I don't know if you're going to continue.
I don't know after today.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, maybe it can slide under the rug or whatever, the curtain. Well, okay. We'll see you tomorrow then.
Yeah, you betcha. You have a good. Hey, Michael.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. You?
I'm all right, hanging in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good stuff.
I'm gonna leave. Nice
See-
to see you. Take
Yeah, you
care.
bet. Bye for now.
Let's see.
I can't see nobody else though. Let's see.
Yeah, you know what? We just kind
Oh,
of
there you go.
we just closed things off. Where are you
Oh.
tuning in from?
I'm in Bonnie Lake right now.
Where is that?
It's by like Sumner, like 30 minutes east of Tacoma.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I had trouble finding or signing in. It took me this whole route. Had to sign up and yeah, I didn't know the display name at first either.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, you can use whatever you want. This is a private setup I have, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool.